Ashan, thanks for coming in today.
No worries.
So the reason that I've got you to come in today is just for a performance review. Now, I just want to talk a bit about what the performance review process is all about. So it's basically, I want you to think of it as a two-way conversation. So it's a time that you can come in and we can sit down, talk about any issues that you might be having at work, any goals that we want to set in terms of work-related goals, personal goals that you might like to achieve. And it's also a time that you can let me know how I can create more job satisfaction for you. So, and I also want it to be a time where you feel like you can come in and express to me any feelings that you've got, and know that it's a confidential space and we can discuss how we can manage the situation and work on improving it.
Okay.
So are you okay with that? Do you understand where you're going with that?
So what you're saying to me is that this is something that's going to happen regularly, kind of a supervision based, and it's about sort of moving forward with work and a confidential place that we can go over any issues as well as progression.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Okay. Yeah, so I was probably looking at running performance reviews maybe on a monthly basis, but we'll just see sort of what sort of goals we create as to how often we might need to catch up and review them, reflect on them, and see how you're going with them. So first up, I just want to commend you on the excellent work that you have been doing. We really feel like you've been displaying an immense amount of innovation and initiative.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just the spreadsheet that you created.
That was awesome. I've loved having everything sort of organised, and I find that being able to set something like that up makes it so much easier for entering everything, having it at place, and that's why I wanted to create that, to make the process a lot easier for putting all the information into the system and being able to access it, and that's sort of where it came from. It's something that I really enjoy to do.
Yeah, no, look, and it's been great, and it's become a massive time saver. So yeah, well done on that. It's excellent. So yeah, keep up that good work.
Awesome, thanks.
And I also just wanted to let you know that I've had a recommendation from the senior accounts manager to put forward to you that if down the track there is potential management roles coming up, whether you would be interested in looking at getting a promotion to that, they would highly recommend you to move into that type of role.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy sort of being out on the floor and working with the customers, but I do sort of love that paperwork based sort of side of thing, being in the office. That's something that I really enjoy to do. A little bit OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff. So yeah, most definitely. I'm always looking to be able to progress. So if I've got the option to be able to do that, that would be great.
Okay. Well, certainly I'd love to be able to put that down as a goal for you to work towards, if you like.
Yep.
And we can see what comes up in the future, and I know that management will definitely be putting you forward as a number one candidate for that. So
awesome.
Yeah, they're just loving your work as well.
That's great.
Yeah. So I just wanted to just to bring up just the little issue with records just being just a little bit behind at the moment. Yeah.
Because I've been doing that spreadsheet and then working out on the floor, that's sort of the actual entry of the data has sort of slipped to the side, and it's something that I haven't got on top of, and it hasn't. I've been trying, but I just haven't been able to make it the priority to get it caught up. So it's something that's been sort of there in the back of my mind that it needs to be done.
Yeah, and I understand that it's taken time with the spreadsheet, and obviously that's going to be a time saver down the track anyway.
Yeah.
How can I help you work towards getting back on top of things so that we're back at all squared up, and because we just had a few issues with some gym members coming in, and when they're trying to access the gym, because the records are a little bit behind, they're having issues with their access. So
okay, yeah. So it has to be done as soon
work
as.
towards getting it caught up. So how can I help you?
If I could maybe, like, the next set of couple of days, a couple of shifts for me, maybe just focus solely on that and not sort of be out on the floor just for that time, just to get it caught up. If we're able to, if we've got enough people, then I should be able to get it done, because that would be my primary focus. Other than that, it would be that we get someone else to sort of also do some data entry in their position. It would be either one. I'm happy with either.
Yep.
And I'd be happy to stay back and for a couple of hours and sort of try to get on top of it, if that's, if you're willing to sort of allow that.
Yeah. You see, moving forward with the company, they're looking at further expansion. So they're looking at opening new gyms. They've got all of the new benefits they're bringing in for our annual memberships now. So, their long-term goal now is looking at probably increasing new memberships by 150%.
That's a lot.
So, I'm just wanting to try and work with you, I guess, to try and get things sorted with what we've currently got before we're going to get a massive influx of new memberships, which, you're then going to have to try and stay on top of as well. So, do you think maybe working on some time management skills would be of any benefit? I always feel like I never get through everything that I'm meant to in a shift. I feel like that's not going to happen. So if we can go over that to find out where I could be more efficient, or things that don't need to have as much focus, maybe, then I'd be open to that. Yeah. Okay, great. Do you think that it would be any help if maybe we looked at having performance reviews, maybe even a little bit more regularly than monthly? Would that be any help if we could sort of, touching base a little bit more often?
Maybe not a full structured, but maybe just to touch base, maybe like an informal fortnightly or something, to say, how are you going with the data entry? Are you up to date? Are you behind? What's happening with that? Maybe we can do a bit of a catch up like that.
Okay, so
and
we
then
had
that way
informal...
you're in the loop with what's happening with it, as well as me being accountable, I guess.
Yeah. So then, if we just had some informal sort of stuff, just to sit down and quick chat over a cuppa maybe, and just nut out how you're going and looking at how I can continue to support you. Okay. So what we're looking at now, obviously with the expansion of the company, moving out larger, so obviously I mentioned before, they're looking at having new memberships raised by about 150%. They're also looking at having current membership renewals increase by 80% with the inclusions of the annual memberships now, and with all the additional benefits they're putting forward for customers. So based on that, I've sort of gone through and looked at some team goals for us, and just looking at how as a team, with our customer service team and our clerical team, how we can work with the flow of the company in developing their goals over the next 3 years. So obviously for us, we're looking at, I guess, just keeping adequate records, keeping them up to date.
So that's the main focus.
Getting them done timely, so we can stay on top, so that our customers are satisfied at the end of the day. Obviously we also want our employees to be happy too. Just looking at, so for you, I've sort of just thought maybe some short-term goals are probably a good thing to set, just to help you, give you something to work towards. So I was just sort of thinking, obviously what we've discussed is getting all the customer records up to date. So do you feel at this stage like maybe a month would be enough time, do you think, so if we sort of put that down as a short-term goal, and obviously we can reassess
Make
in
it
a
a
month.
priority, to try and get through that backlog, as well as sort of keeping on top of the stuff that's going in at the moment. That
should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at your goals, I've put in some key performance indicators. So obviously, updating your customer records, your key performance indicators are going to be things like just your membership spreadsheets are going to be all up to date.
Yeah.
There's no backlog there. You're not behind any data processing, and there's no member access issues.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that's an adequate sort of indicators for achieving that goal?
Can we put in and also like maybe the time, so the time management skills, so maybe even like I don't know how you were sort of looking at that, Emma, when I'm doing sort of training or sit down working over some skills, or whether I do a little course or something, but maybe sort of completing that could be another one possibly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So we can look at either some structured training or even just some mentoring with another staff member.
Yeah.
Maybe on their time management skills and ways that they might think that you might be able to structure your days to get the best out of them.
And get ahead and sort of stay ahead. Yep.
And just the other goal I've created is obviously managing all new memberships and membership renewals, because, you know, in terms of your position here, that's the best way that you're able to move forward with the company goals.
And use my spreadsheet,
And definitely use your spreadsheet. And look, and any other ideas or concepts that you might come up with that can be a help to make your job better.
Yep.
Like I'm all on board for that, and I'd love to hear your ideas on those.
Okay.
And you know, even if even we'll get you up to date first, but then even if after that we can sort of maybe work that into your time management in ways that you can improve the systems a little bit as well.
To try and increase that, especially if we're going to have their high influx. And most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So just some key performance indicators on that one. It's just obviously that your spreadsheets are maintained daily, that all the new memberships are entered. So obviously that, you know, means you're fulfilling the goal.
Yeah.
And that the current memberships are maintained.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, we'll probably just put down a month for that, and we'll just review that again in a month's time.
Yeah.
And just see how you're flowing with it, and see how you're finding the increase, if there has been some increase, how you're coping with it all.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing. So now I just want to know a bit more how you're feeling about things, how you're coping, how do you feel about the goal setting. Obviously it's a new way of doing things here, and you know, I certainly want it to be goals that you'd like to work towards as well, not only for the company but for you as well.
Most definitely. I have been a bit anxious about knowing that I'm behind in the work, and that was part of the basis for me sort of doing that spreadsheet, was to try and increase productivity. But of course, in spending the time and doing the spreadsheet, I've then fallen further behind, and sort of being sort of worried about that coming to work most days. How am I going to get caught up? How am I going to get on top of that? So to have a focus on that and a bit of support feels good. Like it feels like that, you know, I'm going to get in trouble, or, you know, we can work forward and go from there. And most definitely feel really good that you know, possibly can look at management jobs in the future if they're coming up. And so I want to sort of get this going and sort of work towards that. That's something that I'd definitely be interested in.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, we'd love to have you in a management role. So hopefully moving forward, that's where we can look at where you're going to end up.
No worries.
Okay. So is it nothing else that you wanted to bring up today?
No, there's nothing else. That was sort of the main overhanging thing for me. And I guess, you know, the fact that the spreadsheet's heading in the right direction, it's really good. And so, you know, to get on top of that, and you know, I guess I'm going to get there and do my job right, and that's really good.
Great. All right. Well, so we'll schedule the time then next month.
Yep.
And just see how you're travelling with your goals, and you know, like it doesn't have to be completed by that date, so don't feel like it has to.
Yep.
It's just another review date, so we can see where you're at, and I can see if there's any other way that I can help you.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to be coming to work feeling all anxious and worried, and we'd like you to come and enjoy your job. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank you.
for that.